Well, at the beginning of In a Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day, I dedicate the book to my kids, Parker, Summer, and Josiah. And I just simply said, may you grow up to become lion chasers. What I didn't realize when I wrote that is that 4-year-old kids can't tell the difference between something that's literal and something that's figurative. And so I think Josiah kind of had this fear that I wanted him to literally chase a lion. And Laura was at the zoo with the kids not long ago, and I'm guessing they probably just went by the lion cage because Josiah, with a very concerned look on his face, said, "Mom, I don't want to be a lion chaser when I grow up. I want to be a chef." Well, one of my jobs as a parent is to help my kids face their fears. Hey, I'm out here at Cox Farm with my little buddy Josiah, and a couple of weeks ago we were out here, and you know how sometimes farm kids get scared when they go to the city? Well, sometimes city kids get scared when they go to the farm. And it was all new to Josiah, and what you were kind of scared of the hayride, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go on a hayride today, right?
No.
And the goats were a little bit scary, and the slides were scary. And I understand it. If you're half as tall as your dad, I guess the slide looks twice as tall. So here's the deal. I wanted Josiah to go down the slide because I knew that he would have a blast doing it. And so I tried to get him to face his fear, and sure enough, he did it. And we went down the slide, and you know what? It was harder to get him to stop sliding than it was to get him to start sliding. And I wanted him to kind of learn a lesson. And so we came up with a little deal where afterwards I said, "Josiah, you know what? Because you faced your fear, you had a ton of fun." And so I said, "Remember the slide," and gave him a little wink. And that kind of helped you remember to face your fear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now we're going to keep facing those fears and have a little bit of fun. Would you like to go on the slide again?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. If you were to ask Benaiah, what were the greatest experiences of your life? Pretty sure he would just tell you about the 3 experiences recorded in 2 Samuel 23. And if you were to ask him to tell you about the scariest experiences of your life, he'd tell you about the same 3 events. I think often the greatest events double as the scariest events. And if we have the courage to face our fears, man, God can do amazing things. Now, here's the deal. What Satan wants to do, scare the heaven out of you. Scripture says that he is like a lion that prowls around, a roaring lion. And he wants to scare you. He wants to paralyze you with fear. 1 John chapter 4, verse 18 says that perfect love casts out all fear. In other words, as we grow in our love relationship with God, we begin to unlearn those fears that paralyze us. The only God-ordained fear that there is the fear of God. And when you really fear God, you don't have to fear anyone or anything else. And I think that's God's dream for us, that we would have the courage that it takes when we come face to face with those lions that scare us, to not run away, but to have the courage to chase the lion.